and welcome to Griffon Update. I'm Brandon Rosenauer.
And I'm Micah Cummins. Griffon Update is our student-produced digital magazine show bringing you news, sports, and information from Missouri Western State University and the surrounding region.
During each program, we will present an in-depth look at the people, places, and events that make Missouri Western and the Northwest region of Missouri a great place to call home.
On today's show, we will bring you more of the events Missouri Western is hosting as part of its year-long Centennial celebration.
We'll also take a dip into the Missouri Western Fountain with Alpha Sigma Alpha's Floatathon.
And Amari Martin will bring you the latest in Missouri Western sports.
To lead off our show, we'll actually take a step back. Believe it or not, college is about more than just last-minute cramming for tests or consuming ungodly amounts of caffeine. It's about creating memories that last a lifetime. And what better way to remember those memories than a copy of the Griffon yearbook? Reporter Brooke Anderson takes a look at the Griffon, its authors, and one really cool surprise.
Every year, the Griffon Yearbook staff works hard to capture the events, stories, and memories made on campus each day. This year, the yearbook is focusing on getting all the Centennial celebrations happening on campus.
With the Centennial yearbook, we focused a lot on the past. For our designs, we took design elements from clear back into the 60s, I want to say, and just kind of combined it all together. We did a lot of things about the past of Missouri Western. We have a timeline that goes all the way from 1915 to 2015.
Well, last year's yearbook was led by Jody Stanback as the editor-in-chief, and she did a fantastic job doing research, working with Diane Holtz in the PR office, gathering information about the history of Missouri Western, including profiles of prominent people that have been part of the university and the surrounding communities, such as past presidents.
This year, they are working to incorporate video into the yearbook to add a more personal, hands-on experience for the students, staff, and alumni.
With the Centennial edition of the yearbook, we incorporated a smartphone app called Erasma, and it's a video integration app. It has the little logo for Erasma, and if that is on an image, you can take your phone, open the Erasma app, and then you scan it, and it'll instantly play a video that is linked to the photo from the story.
We're hoping to expand to about 50 video stories this year. I know Bob Melf has talked in connection with our staff and what Griffon Update is doing to really expand what we're offering with the yearbook. And so I'm hoping that it really takes off and becomes something with a wide diversity of stories that we're able to feature both in print and video form.
We're trying to make a lot more videos for the upcoming yearbook. We're working very closely with the editor-in-chief. Griffon Update is who are doing a lot of the video. We haven't quite got an exact list yet, but I know that we're going to do all the theater plays, a lot of the major events like the Clock Tower dedication.
The Erasma app is available for both smart and Android phones and is free to download at the App Store. To pick up your copy of the yearbook, go to Murphy Hall 207 between 8 and 4:30 on Monday through Friday.
For more information and to find out how to get your copy of the Griffon yearbook, contact Editor-in-Chief Jessica Edson at jedson@missouriwestern.edu.
As part of the Missouri Western Centennial celebration, the Glenn E. Marion Memorial Clock Tower rededication ceremony was held on Monday, September 21st. Students and organizations were given the opportunity to add items to the Centennial time capsule. The time capsule will be buried after the winter commencement and will not be reopened until 2065, when the university celebrates 150 years of transforming lives. Reporter Eric Tolliver has the story.
In celebration of Missouri Western Centennial Year, the Glenn E. Marion Memorial Clock Tower was revamped and rededicated. Speakers included Dr. Robert A. Vardabedian, University President, Ida Hafner, SGA President, and Lionel Italia, Student Governor.
You know, as I wrote in the letter that I put in the time capsule, you know, I know it will be a much larger school. I know there'll be all kinds of interesting technological advances, but I hope the central focus of the university continues to be students and providing them with an outstanding education that will promote their lives in positive directions. So regardless of all the new technology and regardless of how big the university is at that time period, I certainly hope the teacher doing an outstanding job in the classroom inspiring our students and also inspiring them with out-of-classroom projects will be the focus of the university.
100 years, I see Missouri Western as a larger campus. I see it very much moving towards the residence halls and maybe moving away from the commuter students. And not as much of a commuter school. It's a nice place to stay, it has good locale. Student government in 100 years, I see them as still helping to help the students, as making campus a better place for all students, not just those living on campus, but those living off campus, or even the international students.
A couple of things. I am on the Student Centennial Committee, and I have served on this committee since last fall. Well, close to the end of last fall is when the committee was formed, and so we put on the Centennial Kickoff event at the beginning of the year. We purchased the time capsule, got everything together with the time capsule, and then also was a part of this event that's here today. And we will be continuing to fill the time capsule up, and then eventually we will seal the time capsule this December. So that I'm a part of that committee, and so I'm pretty much dealing with all of those things. And I guess the second part was I was a part of the university school Centennial video, and I had the chance to be a part of that, so that's a couple of things I've done. Really good question. I even contemplate that all the time. I think that not just in 100 years, but I think maybe 10 years from now, we would be one of the best Division II colleges in the nation, one of the most renowned and well-known. And I think that maybe, let's say, 20 years from now, we'd probably be like Division I, because I feel like we're growing at an exponential rate, and I feel like with all of the new additions and amenities that we're offering, and the direction that we're going, and that especially considering like the master plan and things of that nature, and the way that we want to follow that, I think that we're really going to make long strides to just continuing to grow as a university. And so I think that in the next 100 years, Missouri Western will be a very prestigious college to come to, and students all around, high school students all around the nation will be wanting to come here. I think the same thing that I expected from myself and others expect from me is just to do the position to the best of their ability, and that to me is really being the kind of person that is willing to communicate with administration the perspective of students, then to communicate to students the perspective of administration, and then also to be involved in any way possible to use their personal talents, gifts, abilities to better the university at large. And I think if that is what the student governor is doing, then he'll be doing a good job.
Students, alumni, faculty, and staff all gathered at the clock tower. Attendees participated in signing the Centennial Yearbook. The yearbook was placed in the time capsule at the closing of the ceremony. Students, faculty, and staff are still able to place items in the time capsule by filling out an application in the Student Governor's office, located in Blum Union, or the Office of Student Affairs, located in Blum Union 228. The time capsule will be located in the SGA suite until it's buried following the fall commencement ceremony in December. This is Eric Tolliver with Griffon Update, signing off.
For more information about the Centennial celebration or how to add items to the time capsule, visit the office of the Student Government Association located in Bloom Union 217.
Micah, if you could put anything in the time capsule to commemorate your time here, what would it be?
A bottle of wine, Brent.
Well, I guess that would give it time to age. Maybe we could put one of the float tubes from this year's Alpha Sigma Alpha Floatathon. Reporter Melissa Castor braved the chilly fall temperatures and joined the sorority at the fountain in front of Eder to bring us the story.
The Floatathon was hosted by Alpha Sigma Alpha sorority to raise money for one of its 4 philanthropies. The premise of the event was to have at least one member of Alpha Sigma Alpha in the fountain at all times.
Okay, so the Floatathon is a fundraiser that we do every single year. It's usually during September, October, and we just go out to the Eder Fountain and we basically float all day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Basically the rules are you just have to have one person in the fountain at all times. It doesn't have to be completely in the fountain, just your feet, your hands, whatever. We get some floaties out there and we just float around and have a good time, hang out, play music, just have a good time with each other.
Alpha Sigma Alpha was not the only one to put in work and help out with this great cause. Members of Tau Kappa Epsilon fraternity showed up to help barbecue. plates were sold for $5 each, and all proceeds went to the Special Olympics.
Yeah. So as a sorority, we have 4 different philanthropies. Floatathon is helping our Special Olympics philanthropy. And what Special Olympics is individuals with disabilities who might not always get the chance to participate in team sports or any sports at all. It opens up the floor for them so that they can go and participate and get the experience to be on a team or do a sport that normally they would not be able to do because of their disability.
Members of the Alpha Sigma Alpha sorority showed their dedication to their philanthropy by staying in the water from 8 in the morning to 8 at night. And this event is only one of many. Alpha Sigma Alpha will be helping out at the Special Olympics bowling November 7th, as well as helping with other events later in the year.
Yeah, we actually have quite a few going on this semester. We have our where we go and help the Special Olympics bowling. We are doing that in November, and then also in November we have our Girls on the Run, which is another one of our philanthropy events. And what that is, it's girls who are 8 to 13, and they run and prep for a 5K, and so we just go help and support them. And then also we're selling Northwest shirts, Missouri Western versus Northwest t-shirts for ASA Foundation, which is also another one of our national philanthropies, and that goes towards just putting back money and giving back to our sisters.
Alpha Sigma Alpha sorority has started the year off with a splash, and they fully intend to give their all to their philanthropies throughout the rest of the year.
For more information about any of Alpha Sigma Alpha's philanthropy events, contact Katie Jarnigan at 816-316-9632. We'll be right back.
One out of every 4 car accidents are caused by texting and driving.
Wait, what did you just say?
You heard me. That's better. Keep your eyes on the road.
Welcome back. Another event in this year's celebration was Founders Day. Reporter Melissa Castor attended the celebration to fill us in on what Founders Day was all about.
For some time, Missouri Western State University has been anticipating its centennial year. Several events were planned to celebrate the centennial, and one of the biggest was Founders Day.
Well, we have been working on planning Centennial, the centennial year, for about 5 years now. Founders Day, it was our cornerstone for the event. It was our community event where we invited not only faculty and staff and students, but also community members, alumni, and anyone who wanted to come and celebrate the 100th anniversary of Missouri Western.
Founders Day was planned on Family Day, so the community could come out and show its pride in the university and show support for its students. The event took place in Lot H, and booths were set up by university organizations to disseminate university information.
Our part was just our setting up and our getting involved in all of the community games. So our alumni board will take turns rotating and helping out with the midway games, and just being around to visit with everybody to see, what's going on with them and make sure that they know all the events and things that are going on. Well, we have people who just walk up to us, and then we wander around throughout the whole area here, handing out the books and different little games or whatever things that we may be giving out free stuff at that time, and just so that way we can get the word out to people and let them know what's going on around here.
Games and blow-up rides were brought in for children. Local bands were also brought in, playing for any families that wished to watch. Concessions were made available for the visiting families, though many decided to bring their own. Founders Day was a great chance to welcome back alumni. The Phi Delta Theta fraternity was in attendance, barbecuing, welcoming back its alumni, and tailgating before the game.
On Founders Day, well, today is basically the day of the alumni just come back, basically plan this tailgate. It's basically a way just to give back and have a good time with everybody. Brings all the old brothers back they don't get to hang out with all the time. It's just an excuse to come back to Missouri Western, hang out with everybody, basically just have a few drinks and just chill, have fun, watch a good football game. So it's basically a time to get back with everybody and just have a good time together.
The Founders Day celebration culminated in a football game. The Missouri Western twirlers, dancers, and marching band put on a great show before the game and at halftime. Founders Day was enjoyed by many and achieved its aims of celebrating 100 years of Missouri Western education.
For more information about Founders Day, contact Colleen Cowich, Director of Alumni Relations, at 816-271-5650 or visit her office in Spratt 106.
The Missouri Western Theater, Cinema, Dance Department kicked off their new season with cabaret. Here's Micah with the Inside Scoop.
Over the weekends of October 9th through 11th and October 15th through the 17th, Missouri Western State's Theater, Cinema, and Dance Department put on their production of Cabaret. Cabaret is a musical set in Berlin, Germany, just before the start of World War II.
Welcome to Germany, Mr. Bradshaw. Yours?
Yep.
The production starts out with the lead role, the MC, telling the audience that they will forget all of their troubles at the cabaret. Thomas Delgado, who plays the MC, says the production took a lot of time to put together, but could see the payoff. Each night, Potter Hall's theater was packed full of people wanting to see the show.
This show required a lot of patience. We had 4 weeks to put it together, and so that's a very new process here. And so with the depth of the show and the depth of all of the characters, it took a little more patience and concentration. We really had to focus every night we were here at rehearsal. And so, yeah, just patience, I guess, would be the main one. It's going really well. I have been telling people this is why I do what I do, is to inspire, to encourage others to open up and to talk about subjects that they probably don't normally want to talk about. But whenever they come to the show and they see characters and people being so vulnerable in those states, and they come up to you after the show and they're just like, you really inspired me to talk about this that I struggled with, or talk about this, and that's just always rewarding. The applause is great, but at the end of the day, it's about forming that connection of audience and performer.
Jeff Stover, who was the technical director for the production, has more on the success the show saw through the first weekend and what went into making the production such a hit.
It's an involved process. It's a lot of collaboration. Essentially, we have the script. That script gets sent out to the production team. So we have director, choreographer, lighting designer, costume designer, set designer, properties, which is also the set designer, stage management. We have all of that. We all work individually, and then we come together and chat and talk about, well, what is this show about? We all work together to make sure the show is as cohesive as possible so that all the elements tie in and support each other. And if you do that well, you have a successful show.
And now presenting the Cabaret Boys. Here they are, Bobby! Victor! Or is it Victor? Bobby!
For Delgado, playing his role as the MC was a dream of his from the start.
I'll show you.
The MC has been a dream role of mine for a while, and so whenever I even heard we were doing Cabaret, I was just like, oh my gosh, it's I was like, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna really hope for it. And so whenever I saw that I was the MC, I was very excited, very excited.
Stover sees a lot of similarities between Delgado and his role.
If you know anything about Thomas Delgado, you know that he is boisterous. He can be flamboyant. He can also be very reclusive and introverted. So the MC there's a lot of pieces of Thomas that are in that character that come through. He just has to ramp them up every night.
Reporting for Griffon Update, I'm Micah Cummins.
To catch the next show, go to the box office in Potter Hall and reserve your ticket.
Brent, have you ever been to a coffee shop for a performance?
No, coffee's the devil and I hate it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I think you would agree that most of the time when you think of coffee shops, we think of dark, out-of-the-way places with mood lighting, the smell of coffee, and soft furniture, a place we go to hear local music and poetry. However, here at Missouri Western State University, we do things a bit differently.
The police arrived at the door that spring morning. My mother and brother went to identify the body.
For the second year in a row, the tiniest coffee shop brought a warm cup of joe and great poetry to the students, sponsored by Canvas Literary Journal.
It actually started last year, and we did it in the fall semester again. And what we're trying to do is we're really just trying to drum up interest in this magazine.
Letting people know who we are, what we do. We're giving out free coffee, and we're reading selections from the latest issue of Canvas, which is the campus literary magazine. Mostly it's poetry because we don't really have the time between floors to do some of the longer pieces.
Although mostly poetry is read on the ride, Canvas accepts many other arts and literary works.
We accept poetry, short stories, sheet music, anything creative.
Comics, art, screenplays, creative nonfiction.
The tiniest coffee shop has been so successful over the past 2 years that it has drawn more people to submit their work.
We have gotten a lot of people who have come to the elevator specifically for this event because they heard about it last year and they enjoyed it a lot last year.
When we get submissions, they add taglines sometimes, and a lot of people say that they heard about it here and they wanted to submit their work.
To submit to Canvas, you must be an MWSU student, faculty, or alumni and go to the Canvas website or email them at canvas@missouriwestern.edu. With the Griffon Update, I'm Michael Penn.
If you are interested in making a submission to Canvas or already have a piece ready to be submitted, email canvas@missouriwestern.edu.
We all know there are plenty of options on campus for a student to grab a quick bite. But what if a student wants to fix their own meal? This fall, Missouri Western's Rotaract Club opened the campus cupboard. Reporters Ginny Swope and Christina Wade have the story.
I welcome you to the celebration of student support, this opening of Missouri Western State University's first student pantry.
New this semester to Blum Union is Missouri Western's campus cupboard. The cupboard saw its grand opening with a ribbon-cutting ceremony this fall. Sponsored by the university's Rotaract Club, the cupboard aims to provide food and personal items at no cost to the student. The process is rather simple. President of Rotaract, Michelle Keplinger, explains.
If a student wants to come and use the pantry, all they have to do is show up in Blum 214. They'll be able to take 2 grocery sacks in and fill them up with whatever they want, however much they want, and then they'll come out and we'll weigh it just to keep track of inventory.
Elise Hepworth, the Rotaract's club advisor, drew inspiration for the cupboard from previous experiences with food insecurity on a college campus.
Yeah, the last university that I worked at Wayne State College in Wayne, Nebraska, had a food pantry. I was also helped with the Rotaract Club there and was a Rotarian in Wayne, and that was a great success.
The Rotaract Club relies on donations from individuals and organizations to keep the cupboard stocked. Anyone looking to donate is encouraged.
We're always looking for high protein items, so canned tuna, canned fish, peanut butter. Toiletries are high need items, so if you have toilet paper, paper towels, soap, shampoo, razors, shaving cream, body wash, anything like that would be very much welcome.
The campus cupboard has been well received by many on campus. The pantry has a regular stream of visitors and is being granted support from administrators and volunteer students.
We obviously have a fair number of students on our campus who have some financial challenges, and I can't think of a better way of helping them than to help them meet their nutritional needs. And I think that's a great thing to do, and I think it's important for a university to do those sorts of things.
Most of the feedback we've gotten has been extremely positive. Students are loving the idea of it, and they are extremely excited that we are now offering this here.
Our administrators have been incredibly supportive, have they know and they recognize that this has been a great need on campus, but the students have been really enthusiastic, not just because they're able to get food, but because they're able to serve and they're able to see a difference and they're able to make a difference.
The Rotaract Club is happy to accept volunteers. Students can log their time as service hours for organizations and scholarships.
Any individual who wishes to volunteer can use these as service hours. They just need to contact me, report your service hours to your organization, and definitely to the university.
The campus cupboard is open from 2 to 4 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays and welcome to all students. For more information, contact Elise Hepworth at ehepworth@missouriwestern.edu.
As I've said before, I think what a university is all about is providing students with a complete education. I think one of the most important aspects of a complete education is a social conscience. And this, more than anything that we do on our campus, is indicative of that. So thank you so much for being here. And this is
For Jenny Swope, this is Christina Wade with Griffon Update.
Thank you, folks.
If you'd like to visit or contribute to the campus cupboard, you can find them in Blum 214, open Tuesdays and Thursdays from 2 to 4. We'll be right back with Amari Martin's sports report. Any preview, Amari?
For today's show, we'll be looking at soccer, volleyball, and yes, taking a peek at this year's men's and women's basketball teams.
Hi, so tell me about yourself.
Well, my name is Paul. That's short for polyethylene terephthalate. I like long walks on the beach and soda pop.
Me too.
And you know, I'm just looking for someone to spend the next 450 years with. I mean, I'm not decomposing anytime soon.
I'm not sure I'm ready for that type of commitment.
But wait!
Maybe it's time to break up with Paul. Use reusable beverage containers and recycle plastic bottles.
Welcome back. In Missouri Western sports news, volleyball was back at home with 2 back-to-back MIAA matches against Central Oklahoma and Pitt State. Here's a look at the Griffon volleyball team.
The Griffon volleyball team faced number 14 Central Oklahoma. The Griffs dropped their last game versus Missouri S&T, hoping to bounce back at home. In set 1, both teams battled each other to take the lead. The Griffs scored 4 straight points for a tie of 17, but later the Griffs came up short and the Broncos took set 1 21-25. In set 2, the Griffins came back and took the lead. Lindsey Partridge swings and the Broncos tips it, but the Broncos regained the lead, putting the Griffs down and taking set 2. In the final set, the Griffs put up a fight against the Broncos. Jordan Chohan with a nice setup to Shelby Taylor for a kill. The Griffs had the game tied but couldn't manage to take the lead. The Broncos took the final set 25-21. The next day, that loss is behind them. They host Pittsburgh State. The Gorillas took the lead but couldn't hold on to it. The Griffins took set 1 25-19. In match 2, the Griffins came out on top with the lead. Jordan Chohan sets the ball over for a Griffin point. The Griffs took over set 2 25-19. In the last match, the Griffs took control from start to finish. Rachel Fredericks dominates the ball for a kill, and that's game. They go on to defeat Pitt State in all 3 sets.
I think we did really well. I think we focused on taking care of our side of the court and focusing on limiting our errors that they didn't force upon us. And so I think we did a lot better. Our energy was a little weak, and then we kind of picked it up and finished strong.
Yesterday we did a really good job of executing our scouting report. There was just a couple of things that weren't working and just a couple kills that we didn't get, but today we also did a really good job of doing our scouting report, and we were efficient on our side rather than waiting for them to make errors, so we just did really good today.
The Griffins will face Emporia State their next home game. And I'm Amari Martin reporting from Griffon Update.
The Griffin soccer team returned home hosting 2 MIAA games against Missouri Southern and Southwest Baptist. Sports reporter Cortrez Colbert gives us an inside look of both soccer games.
The Griffin soccer team coming off a draw with Central Oklahoma and loses to Northeastern. Hoping to bounce back, they host Missouri Southern. The Griffs trying to get something going early. Bridget Blessy hustles for the ball, shoots it, but the Lions come away with a big stop. But later, the girls in white won't be denied. Sydney Andrews with the shot attempt. The Lions block it. She shoots it again. Another stop, but Bridget Blessy with the hustle play finishes the job. Western gets on the board first, taking the early 1-0 lead. Next play, the Griffins showing off their defense as they come away with a big stop. Western is too much as they beat Missouri Southern 2-0 in the shutout win.
Score, Missouri Western 2, Missouri Southern nothing.
In Game 2, the Griffs play a tough Southwest Baptist team. Western coming off a confident win versus Southern. Hope to keep it rolling, but the Bearcats didn't waste time. Senior Carla Jameson pushes it past 2 Griffin defenders and sets up for the goal, taking an early 1-0 lead. The Griffs off to a slow start. They need a spark. Maddie Caldwell looks like she can do it, but the Bearcats comes away with the clutch stop. With minutes left in the game, Western has another chance. Bridget Blessy in the foot race has an opportunity, takes a shot, but it's not enough. The Griffins fall to Southwest Baptist 1-0 at home.
I think we battled our butts off. Although we came out a little slow, you're right, in the first 10 minutes. We kept battling. Physicality was big in this game, and we stayed through it and battled 90 minutes strong, and it was just unfortunate we weren't able to put the ball in the back of the net today.
Thanks, Trace. Basketball season is right around the corner. Here's a peek at the men's and women's basketball team as they get ready to tip off their season.
No, never. Whoever's in the middle is always back.
A big day for the Missouri Western men's and women's basketball teams. Off-season is officially over as they kick it off with their first official practices. The men's basketball team, barely missing the second round of the playoffs last season, was just under 500 with a record of 12-15 overall. But it's a new season, as third-year head coach Brett Warburg hopes to take another step this upcoming season.
Without discussing it with our team, that really what we've been talking about is just trying to get better. Our goal on a very short-term basis is try to get better every day, try to make every day count, and really adhere to the process.
Junior point guard Aaron Emmanuel felt the first official practice was a success.
Guys competing, that's what you want on the first day. You can't expect anything too much. You gotta expect hard work, you gotta expect dedication, you gotta expect just guys going out there and competing.
The Toronto native say he likes the way his team is shaping up.
The team's coming along good. We got guys playing other guys that haven't played before, so it might take a couple of days to, get in the groove of everything, but everybody's looking all right now.
Coach Warburg says the key to being successful in this league is hard work.
Where we're at as a program, we've got to win games, and the only way that we win games is by working hard with purpose every single day to prepare ourselves to win basketball games.
On November 6th, the Griffs' first test will be against the Missouri Tigers in an exhibition game. Now we switch gears to the women's basketball team. Last season, they had a record of 15-12 overall. And with new faces, and not to mention the first team all-conference senior guard LaQuinta Jefferson, it should be an exciting season for the Lady Griffins.
It's good to get back rolling, the NCAA rules and getting into our 20-hour week where we really can get things done. It's exciting. It's a great time of year, getting basketball started. The kids are excited. Obviously at this time of year, they're tired of preseason workouts. They want to get on the floor and get ready for the season, and it gets here really quick once we start.
The sharpshooter from Illinois, Serafina Handy, is coming off a great shooting season, leading the conference in made three-pointers with 72 makes. She says her goal this season is to be an all-around player.
Just being the best player I can be for my teammates, defending better, being a better all-around player.
Not only does the Lady Griffins have some good returners coming back, but they brought in some good pieces as well.
Everybody we've brought in, we feel like is going to come on the floor and give us something. Tate, our kid transferred from Division I from San Antonio, is almost like Q, another kid that can really score and give us some physical presence. Seth, our young lady from Hawaii, transferred from the JUCO, is going to be one of our strongest guards, one of our best defenders. Limba, who's Millie's cousin from Fiji, 6'3" kid, gives us great size and presence that we need in the post. Julia, our Brazilian post player that set out last year, that's here this year. Every one of our new kids will fit in and contribute to this team immediately.
Last but not least, the Griffins bring back their scoring machine, LaQuinta Jefferson. Last season, she made it look easy, averaging 20 points per game. This season, she hopes to do more and lead her team.
My goal is to help the team get better and better at each game and be that leader. We got a lot of newcomers, but I think the newcomers will really help us out because the majority of them are scorers. I feel that this year would be exciting.
We want to finish in the top 3 in the league. We want to get deeper in the conference tournament. And our ultimate goal is we want this team to get in the NCAA tournament.
On November 13th, the Lady Griffins will face Southwest Minnesota State in the SMSU Classic. And I'm Quatrez Coble reporting from Griffin Update.
For more info on Griffon athletics, check out gogriffons.com.
Well, that's our show.
For all of us here at Griffon Update, thank you for watching. For more news and information about Missouri Western and the surrounding region, tune into Griffon Update on Channel 39 or catch us on our Vimeo channel at vimeo.com/GriffonUpdate.